Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's English for Specific Purpose public lecture. So I'm your lecturer, Anissa Ramadhani, and I'm honored to serve as the moderator for this exciting session, on today's public lecture entitled The Future of Public Speaking, How Generative AI is Transforming Communication and Creative Industries. So before we begin, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest speaker, Austin. Yeah, he's here already. Thank you so much for coming, Austin.
Yes, thank you for having me, and selamat siang, everybody. I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that in today's lecture I can add a lot of value and really encourage a lot of you to try some new things with AI to help with your study or even your future work.
All right. Thank you, Austin. So before we begin the lecture, so I would like to introduce yourself to my students. Yeah, and currently we also have the Vice Dean here, also a teacher of this course. Yeah, Ibu Dr. Yanti Wirza, Bu Yanti Wirza, PhD. Hello, Bu.
Outside of campus right now.
Okay.
Okay. You have a good day and seminar. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu. All right. So everyone, I would like to give you like a little bit introduction about Austin. Yeah. So basically, Austin currently working as a business consultant, but he's focusing on AI currently. But you know what? The funny fact about him that he used to study in Universitas Indonesia, correct, Austin?
Yes, just as a Dharma Siswa scholarship student, so just for 1 year of study of Indonesian language at UI.
Okay, so how's your bahasa Indonesia so far?
Still okay, but not as good as before.
All right, so you're still practicing? Not really, no?
I talk with my Indonesian friends in Bahasa
Including
Indo,
me,
but,
yeah? we never
sometimes.
talk in Indonesian. Anyway, so are you ready for your lecture today, Austin?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so I think I'll just give it to you. And everyone, please pay attention. Later on, we will have a question and answer session. All right.
Sure. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Just want to make sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
Okay, great. All right, so for today's lesson or lecture, we're going to be discussing how creative AI is transforming communication in creative industries. I'm going to go through a little brief introduction of myself. I'll go through the agenda of everything that we're going to cover today. So just to jump right in, just a little bit of about myself. My name's Austin. I'm originally from the United States, but I've been in Southeast Asia now for the past 5 years, primarily around Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Laos. My background's in finance. I worked in the United States for about 2.5 years after my bachelor degree, and then I got a Dharma Siswa scholarship to come and study Indonesian language at the University of Indonesia. And then from there, I got into the tech startup industry, primarily in Southeast Asia. So I've been with several tech startups in the region over the last 4 years or so. In Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, and now I'm just working as a business consultant. And I've been transitioning into getting really interested in AI, its applications, how it can be utilized both on the real world application side, as well as the technical side, meaning trying to understand how it works. All right. So just the agenda today, we're going to spend a little bit of time just talking about the theory of AI and how to structure prompts, primarily for things like ChatGPT. And then we're going to go into some real world examples of how you can apply this to automate tasks, whether it be for your career, for study, content creation, public speaking, graphic design, whatever it is. And really the applications are endless. It's really up to your imagination on what you want to make come to life. So before we go any farther, and I want this to be a back and forth, I'll stop periodically to ask questions. I really want to understand where everybody is at in understanding the technology, what have people tried before, and just taking on on some questions as well, if there are any. So before we go any farther, does anybody want to, I guess perhaps we can do a show of hands, who has used ChatGPT before? And would anybody be willing to share what have you used it for? All right, so a few people are raising their hands. Would anybody like to share what they have used ChatGPT for? Are they using it just to experiment and try it out, or have they started using it for applications for their study or for their work or hobbies? Anybody?
Feel free to talk, yeah?
Yeah, may I?
Yes, please.
So, before I introduce myself, so my name is Izel, and I mainly use ChatGPT to, just like some. I used it before in tasks, like when I want to work, and I don't really know what the curriculum is, so I teach sometimes, and I mainly use ChatGPT to gain inspiration on what I want to teach to that specific class, to that specific demographic, and yeah, mainly that. So.
Okay, great. I think that this lecture might be very helpful for you then, because some of the things I'm going to cover, you can definitely take that application and just plug it into what I'm going to be sharing. Is there anybody else that would like to share maybe what they've used ChatGPT for in the past, or maybe are currently using it for?
May I, sir?
Yes, please. Please go.
So let me introduce myself. My name is Tegar, and I have been using ChatGPT mainly to brainstorm ideas, and sometimes I use it. I have been on me right now. I use it to cite journals in APA 7. 1 second, let me turn off my background.
Sure.
Okay, so last week I used it to cite a journal in APA 7, and I use it to upload the document into ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT generates the citation or the references for me. That's all.
Okay, that's good, because one of the examples I'm going to share is using it for that specific use case. So I think that this could also help you a lot. All right, is there maybe one more person that wants to share? If not, we can move forward. Okay, well, someone raised their hand. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Shafieri, but also known as Fieri. So my use purpose for this specific ChatGPT, last night I searched for information about the immigration for my electronic passport. I was searching information on Google, but it didn't show up. So I checked the ChatGPT and asked the specific question that I have, which is if we can replace the standard passport into the electric passport, and it showed up, and it directly sent me the link to the immigration website.
Okay, great. All right, well, thank you everyone for sharing. It's helpful for me to understand kind of the experience that some of you have already had to help me guide the lecture. So I'm sharing my screen again. All right, go back to the slideshow. All right, so going on to just the basics, we're gonna spend just a very short time on this part. I think with this technology, it's important to have the foundational knowledge, but the real value comes from you wanting to try new things and experimenting with the correct structure of knowing how to prompt. So ChatGPT and some of the other popular ones, there's Gemini from Google, Grok is from Twitter or X, and then Claude is kind of a new one that's come on the scene. But in today's examples, we're going to focus on ChatGPT and Claude. And it's a large language model. So what that means is that it's just a type of artificial intelligence that can generate human language. So it's designed for you to have a conversation with it and to extract information in return. And the amount of information that it can give you is endless. So as you can imagine, Google gets all of their data from people doing Google searches and using Google products, having conversations, all of that. Same thing with Grok for Twitter. It takes everything from Twitter and is able to process it. So now you can have conversations and extract information. That's designed that's designed for how it is to work. And then based on going through the theory, we are going to talk about the variables and the components that go into making a prompt. So that way you can take that endless amount of information and constrain it to something very specific for what you are looking for. Whether it be for a travel itinerary, to put together lesson plans for studying, if you work in marketing, whatever it may be. So the first component is the task. This is something that if you use ChatGPT before, you've already used. You're asking ChatGPT a question, or you're asking it to do something for you. Like, hey, ChatGPT, could you provide information on this topic? Hey, ChatGPT, could you give me 3 reasons why I should start going to the gym? Something like that. And then you can move into some other components which are less important, but these are the components that are going to start constraining that information that will give you a more reliable response. So I'm going to break all of this down on the next slide, but as you can see here, there's 6 components that can go in. Not all of them are required, but some are important and some are just nice to have. So just giving a little bit of a breakdown on the components, the task is pretty straightforward. You're telling it to do something, generate a 3-month training program, or you can give it multiple tasks at the same time, such as analyze the user feedback, and then summarize the top 3 takeaways. The context is quite important. As I said before, it's unlimited possibilities of what information you can give, but if you give it some information about yourself, for example, if you're trying to put together a gym routine, you can share your age, whether you're male or female, maybe what kind of experience you've had going to the gym previously, if you're new, or you want to try some new exercises, something like that. An exemplar or example is giving the AI an example of the outcome that you want. So one of the examples that we'll go through a bit later is trying to automate a task for copywriting or social media content. You can take examples of content that you like from maybe an influencer or somebody that has lots of engagement. You can take examples and put that into your prompt. That way your outcome will match that style. Persona is telling AI who you want it to be. So sometimes if you are maybe trying to seek some medical knowledge or medical advice, you can tell ChatGPT you are an experienced doctor in psychology, and then continue your prompt. So you're giving ChatGPT an angle and a way for it to structure its output to you. Format, again, these format and tone, these ones are a little bit less important, but they can be useful in the right application. So format is telling ChatGPT or the AI the output you want. Do you want it to be in a table format, bullet points, paragraph? Are you writing an email? And then finally, we have the tone. I'm sure you're aware with tone, there's hundreds and hundreds of different types of tones that you can use, and you can mix match them. So happy, sad, serious, direct, personal, witty, casual, whatever it may be. The great thing about this is that you can be as creative as you want. All right. Okay. So here is a example of a prompt formula and application, putting it together. So this is the formula of the components that we discussed. First, you're going to include the persona, the context, task, exemplar, format, and tone. So in this example, we're going to do a live example with ChatGPT so you can compare the outcome. In this specific example here, I like traveling. It's one of my hobbies. I've never been to India, but I would really like to visit one day. So I'm telling ChatGPT that they are a global traveler who has been to 100 countries, so they have lots of experience, but mainly their experience is in India. So they know the culture, they know the sites. And then I'm telling them about me. I'm telling that I'm a 29-year-old male. I enjoy nature, nightlife, and I like going to religious sites. I like to learn. So now I'm giving it the task. I said, please create a detailed 2-month travel guide in India for me. I'm giving an example. I said the output should be the same as a professional travel agent, including locations, travel dates, expected cost, and how I'm going to travel to each of these locations, whether it's by train or bus or airplane. And then I want it to be in a table format so it's easy for me to read. So first thing is, let's just give it the task. So we're going to give it the task without all of these extra components, and then we can compare it with including the extra components, and we'll see how the output, the information it gives me changes. And you'll see how the information it gives me with all the components and the formula, the information it gives me is a lot more specific and helpful for me. So if we just go to ChatGPT here and we just put in create a 2-month or a detailed 2-month travel guide in India for me, we'll press enter, and it'll give me lots of information. It gives me very general, broad information. It tells me about the regions of India. And as you can see already, not all of this applies to me, because I specifically want to tell it the things that I like doing, the nature, the nightlife, and going to religious sites. So it's gonna run like this for a while. It'll give me the 2 months. But as you can see, it's very broad and not really necessarily applied to me. So we'll create a new chat here, and we will take the full prompt here with all the components. As you can see here, I left out the tone. In this case, tone isn't really necessary for what I'm asking it to do. In a later example, we will include the tone. All right, so now I have the full input here. So now it's going to give me an output in a table format, and it's going to be all information that is applied to me with a lot more detail to help me plan my trip in a more strategic and organized way. Are there any questions about what I just went through? I want to make sure that everyone is understanding. Are there any questions?
If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Yeah.
All right, so seems like there's no questions, but if we just compare the responses here, we'll go to the one that we did. It's kind of stopped generating because I left the chat, but as you can see, it gives me some random stays, it gives me some highlights, and with this information, maybe it's a little bit helpful, but now I have to start doing some research on Google. I have, it only took me about 25% of the way there. But with this example here, where I gave it all the components and a lot more information, it took me maybe 80 or 90% of the way there. So now I have an idea of how much things are going to cost. I have ideas of very specific things I can do that are specifically interesting to me. So since there's no questions, I'll continue moving forward with this. And we're going to be doing lots of live examples here. So now we're going to discuss some real-world applications. So example one, this specific example is kind of if you're interested in copywriting or blogging, content creation, anything along those lines. So in this scenario, let's assume you are a marketing manager responsible for transforming long, complex topics into easy understand blog posts to reach a large audience. In this scenario, you're given a 58-page World Bank report, and you need to create a short blog covering the main topics in an easy to understand blog for your company. Now, look, this is a scenario as a marketing manager, but you can take out marketing manager, you can put in you're a lecturer or professor or teacher. You can adjust these details in this scenario. So it has lots of applications. Again, you can use your imagination and take it as far as you want. So moving on to kind of the components that we discussed in the theoretical side of things, here is a prompt that we can use to give us the output that we want, that we're looking for as a marketing manager. So in this case, I'm assigning ChatGPT a role. I'm telling it that what its role is. It's to turn these long research papers into really understandable text that's easy to read, and the term is called humanizing, so it makes it sound natural. And a big mistake that a lot of people make is that they'll have ChatGPT write something and then they'll submit it and it reads like a robot. It doesn't read like a human. It doesn't sound natural. And this is becoming more common, and people now automatically will dismiss text and reports that are obviously written by AI. And then I gave it the task. I said I needed to act as a blog post humanizer, rewrite the context from a PDF file, which we'll go through in this example. I gave it the example. I tell it that it needs to be at an 8th grade reading level so it can reach a large audience and easy to understand for people who may not be familiar with the topic. And then I gave it the format. I said it needs to be between 500 and 700 words. Now, in this example also, I mean, you can take variables out and put in your own that is whatever applicable to your situation. Now, here's a PDF file that we're going to be using. As you can see here, it's 58 pages. Let's be real, nobody has time to read these. Nobody has time to go through them and analyze them. So ChatGPT and other AI tools, again, these are designed to take you 80% of the way for whatever. In this report, it's quite interesting for ChatGPT specifically, or sorry, yeah, ChatGPT specifically, Indonesia is the 5th most popular user of ChatGPT in the world, behind the Philippines and above Canada and Germany, United Kingdom. So this is a very popular tool in Indonesia, and I think it's important to kind of take what this tool can do and take it to the next level. It's becoming a kind of a global phenomenon. So here, we'll start a new chat. What we're going to do is we're going to upload this PDF into ChatGPT. Just one moment. So I've uploaded the PDF, and I will send a copy of this lecture to Ancha to share with everybody, so you can use it as a resource for review. So now that we have the PDF uploaded, we're just going to copy and paste this prompting template into ChatGPT. So I just need to move some things around here. Okay. So we have the PDF here. We can plug it in. So we already went through it. We're going to press send. And now it's going to give me a very natural, human sounding blog post that fit all of the criteria that I gave to ChatGPT. It'll be within the 507 words, and you can make this 2,000 words, you can make it 100 words, whatever is suitable for you. So again, this will cover all the main points in that 58-page document with lots of data, complex words, things that maybe you wouldn't understand or your audience won't understand. This can turn it all into an 8th grade. Basically make it so an 8th grader can understand it, which is good to kind of, if you want to reach a large audience. So this is just an example, kind of a real world example of plugging in a PDF for a real life scenario and using the correct prompting structure to extract the specific information that you want. Now, when you look at this example here, you can see there's a lot to it. And how do you know what role to give it? How do you know how to explain the task? How do you know to give it an example? Well, in example 2, I'm going to go through how you can even use ChatGPT to create a template like this, where you just have to plug in the information that you want to give it. So this one is creating basically a template for all use cases, whether it's giving a speech, your job, for study, whatever. Before we move forward, are there any questions with example 1? Anything that you didn't understand that you need more clarification? And if I'm talking too fast, please let me know. Any questions so far? All right, I will continue.
Yeah, I think it's quite clear, Austin, so you can continue.
Okay, so with example 2 here, we're going to use Claude. As you see, we touched on it here at the beginning. So Claude is kind of, it's starting to get popular. It's new versions that are coming out are becoming very, very good at completing tasks. Each of these tools here that I mentioned in the beginning, they each have their own pros and cons. ChatGPT is really, really good for just about everything, but it's a little bit general. I personally have not spent too much time experimenting with Gemini from Google or Grok, but I have been using Claude a bit, and Claude is really good if you want to get more analytical with things. It's really good at even generating graphs and reports with lots of data. It's good for coding, those types of things. But what we will do here is we'll take this prompt, and I'm telling it to basically create a skeleton. where all I need to do is just plug in a few variables and it'll take me 90% of the way. The other 10% is just me making some changes so it fits exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm telling it to basically give, I need you to create a skeleton advanced system prompt so I can always input to get the same output. I'm going to give it a role. I need you to give the skeleton prompt a role, a task, and context. As we discussed, the task is mandatory. The role and context are important. I need to keep it general for any topic and add brackets where I need to insert the information. Create a system for X platform. This can be for LinkedIn, for speech writing, for Instagram, for Twitter, whatever. And then add some examples. Now the examples, let's say in this example that we're going to go through, you are creating a LinkedIn post. Your job is to manage the LinkedIn for a company. You can take LinkedIn posts from people that get really good engagement, that are successful on LinkedIn on getting views. Just copy and paste their post into this last section here. You can do 1, 2, 3 examples, however many you want. And this will help give ChatGPT an idea of the output that you want, so you can match that similar system. This one I've already written out because we have to include the examples from LinkedIn. So I've already put that together. So let me just copy and paste, and then I will go through it here. So we're going to go to Claude. Again, the interface is very straightforward. You can just start typing right away, just like ChatGPT. So I pasted it here. It's a bit long. Let me break it up for everyone here. Okay. Okay. So I included the prompt that we just went through. I need you to create a skeleton advanced system. And in these brackets here and here is where that's the only information you need to add in this system. So in the system here, in this specific case, I said, I need you to create a system prompt for LinkedIn and follow this structure. Sorry. Sorry, I made a mistake on my end. Let me go back and start over. Okay, so, and then when I directed it the structure to give, I gave 2 examples of people on LinkedIn that I follow personally that get really good engagement. So I just copied and pasted their posts into 2 examples. This first is one popular guy on LinkedIn, and the second one is a completely different guy on LinkedIn, but both are successful at getting engagement. So I just copied and pasted it directly. I'll press enter. Okay. So now what it gave me here directly is a skeleton of something that I can just copy and paste, and I can plug in what I want. So it automatically gives the role of a LinkedIn content creator. It automatically gives the task, which I can use over and over again for this specific purpose of to create engaging and informative LinkedIn posts about topic. Now this bracket here is where I enter my information. What topic do I want it to discuss? It already gives the context, your professional LinkedIn creator specializing in blank field. So again, I can put this in here. And then your goal is to create a compelling post to generate discussion, provide information to your network, and establish thought leadership in this area. It already gives guidelines for post structure. The tone, you don't have to do it. Again, this is optional, but you can add your own tone. You can add the length, up to you. You can do 100 words, 300 words, and then just some additional instructions, which you can add some more if you'd like, or you can even take some of these away. It's completely up to you. But now you have a skeleton that you can use to help automate a task that you may have to do frequently for your work or study. So now that we have this, all we have to do is copy and paste this. So we will copy this. We'll start a new chat just for the example that we're going through. Starts fresh. So does anyone want to, any topic, and industry field. Does anyone want to volunteer and share? Or try to put in their own topic and put in their own industry and field? So what is a topic that interests someone? Is it graphic design? Is it sports? Someone give me a topic that interests them, and we can create a LinkedIn post for them.
Oh yeah, Arik is raising his hand. So
Okay.
Arik,
Right,
you may start. Okay.
thank you for the opportunity. I would like to know about, let's just say, I would like to know about economic data in Indonesian.
Okay.
So I would like to know the data about Indonesia economic from five, 5 past year. Is it possible for the crowd to do that?
So we can do Indonesia economic data, or
Yeah.
we could do 2024 Indonesia economic data.
Yeah, is it possible, sir?
Yeah. And then industry field, we can say economist. How about that? Economist for industry field. For the tone, how do you want the tone? Do you want it to be professional, informative? Do you want to mix some tones? What do you have in mind for a tone?
I would
You
like to
don't
be authoritative.
authoritative. Okay, we can do that. So just remove this. So now it's an authoritative tone. And then let's just say 100 words, keep it short. Or do you want it to be long? It's up to you.
Keep it short, sir.
Sorry, say again.
Keep it short.
Short. Okay, so we'll do 100 to 150 words. Okay, so now we've plugged in the information into this skeleton that we built, and we can press enter. And now it's going to provide the output. So now it includes some very brief output for LinkedIn posts. It even includes some hashtags. It has a call to action to share thoughts. And again, if this works fine, you can take this and publish it. If not, you can, this took you 80 or 90% of the way there. You can make some adjustments to this. But now you have a post that is engaging, covers the material that you want. It doesn't sound like a robot or AI. It sounds human with the tone that you want. So again, this can be applied to absolutely everything. This system can. And this LinkedIn is just an example. But again, the best way to learn these tools is just by practicing and trying different things, because something that works for someone will not always work for someone else. You have to kind of find your style. This is the best way to learn these tools, is just trying different things. So now that we've kind of gone through a couple examples of how this can be applied across all use cases, this is kind of just a little bonus, and this is fun, just to kind of see what other AI tools are available and how much fun you can have with it. So we're going to talk about kind of combining LLMs and other tools. So in this first one, we're going to just do it very brief. ChatGPT, I'm sure you've all heard of Midjourney. You can use it to make images with AI. Leonardo AI is another popular one. It's very good for graphic design and corporate use. In this case, we're going to just do it for Leonardo AI. If we go back to the chat here, where we made a blog post, let's say it's for Medium, we can now tell it, give me 4 image prompt options for Leonardo AI. And it's connected to the internet, so it knows what Leonardo AI is. It's going to know how to prompt Leonardo AI to get the images that you want for a cover image of this blog post. I'm just giving it a task. So it's going to give me 5 image prompts, and I can try all of them, or I can read through them and take the one I want. If I don't like it, I can tell it to give me some more prompts. So just kind of giving a quick glance at these. Let's say I like number 3, a digital cityscape with AI elements. So we can just take this prompt here, copy it. We'll go to Leonardo AI. Again, there's lots of things you can do with this tool. If you're a creative person, if you like graphic design, if you like photography, if you like anything creative, this is a fun place to try some different things. But for this example, we're just going to do the basics. Let it load here. So all you have to do is plug in the prompt here at the top. I went through this already just to make sure everything is working, but you can plug in the prompt that you get from ChatGPT here. On the left side here, the presets, I mean, there's lots of presets if you like kind of the concept, anime style art, graphic design, stock photography, lifelike vision. I mean, lots of presets. And there you can also even get more granular with your style. But anyways, we're not going through that today. You can adjust your aspect ratios, whether this is for Facebook or Instagram or your desktop, TV, whatever. We'll just do a Twitter. And you can adjust it as you want like this. So we'll just go with this aspect ratio for now. Okay, and then all you have to do, and this is free to use, by the way. You get new credits every day, but it's free to use. I have 4 accounts, so I never run out of credits. So it's going to create the image. It usually takes 20 to 30 seconds, but now you have an image now you have the blog post, and now you have an image you can put on your blog post, something that's interesting, something to get somebody's attention. So just give this a moment to load. While this is loading, are there any questions about what I just went through and explained? So now you have a interesting cover photo for your blog. Again, you can get extremely creative. Whatever you type, it will try to make an image. So your imagination is wherever you want to take it. All right, so that's kind of an application for that. This next one I'm going to go through. So Suno is a tool that I think is going to start getting very popular soon. It makes music with lyrics, lyrics and sounds, and if you're a musician, you can get really creative with adding a chorus and the lyrics and the different instruments, things like that. This one isn't necessarily going to be related to the examples we went through previously. I just want to show you just to give you a more broad idea of all the capable things that you can create just with starting with ChatGPT and then scaling it to other platforms and creating other things. So ChatGPT, some of you may have already seen that there's GPTs here. What these are custom. Think of it as like an app store or Google Play Store for ChatGPT. These come with basically pre-structured templates where you just have to kind of put in some variables and it will create it for you. Some of them are good, some of them are not. But as you can see here with Wix, it'll start chatting with you, having a conversation with you, giving you some options, and then at the end it will create a website for you. It's very fast. It saves lots of time. I mean, this is for things for using Excel, if you're into coding, making music, whatever it may be. But it's a pretty extensive library. It's fun to explore. So we'll just type in Suno, the name of the music player. As you can see here, there's quite a few options to choose from, but we'll just go for this top one. It's the most popular. Okay, we will start the chat. So basically, you just have to tell it what you want to do. And again, it's beneficial to be as specific as possible. But just in this example, we'll go through it quickly. Let's just say we want to create an indie song, an indie rock song. So it's going to give me the title, style, and all the lyrics. Pre-chorus, chorus, verse. I'm not a music guy, but this is really interesting. It's fun for me to use. This can be used for creating soundtracks for commercials, for ads. It can be used for creating sound elements if you like to make videos, adding various sounds to complement the video. This can be used for all of it. Okay. Let's move something out of the way. So this is Suno here. Again, as you can see, I like to play around with it a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom song. So here's the lyrics. We'll just go here, copy and paste it in there. So now we have the lyrics, style of music. It's a indie rock. And you don't have to use ChatGPT for this. You can do it all custom on your own if you are really into music and you kind of already have an idea of what you want to create. And then we can just put in the title of the song here. I will say though, some songs, I would say about half the songs are good and catchy and the other half are not good. But it's fun to experiment with. It's getting better monthly. It seems like this technology is advancing very quickly. So it's good to get familiar with how they work now. And this is something that you can apply to whatever purpose. So then you just create, and this is free to use also. You get free credits every day, and you can have multiple accounts and never run out of credits. So this takes also a short time. It's almost instant. It's very short when you have and it always gives you 2 samples. So we can play the song, we can see how it is. So now you have a song, it will give you a 3 or 4 minute song.
We cannot hear the song, Austin. Maybe, yeah, you need to share sound first.
Share sound, how do I do that?
You need to unshare your screen now and then later on share screen again and then pick the share sound option as well on the right side.
Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Share sound. Okay. All right, so now we're back. We can just skip forward a little bit. Now you have a song. So as you can see, you can make some catchy music. You can do hip hop, gangster rap. You can do house music. It's totally up to you, whatever you like. You probably can do Indonesian music as well. I haven't tried, but it would be fun to give that an experiment, I think. All right, so that is kind of everything I wanted to cover today. I wanted just to really give a kind of a detailed but concise way to method of using these AI tools, of how they can benefit you, and you can apply it to your everyday life to help automate tasks, make things easier, just using the newest technology, because this is here to stay. And I think that it's going to be required to learn these skills if you want to remain competitive, whether it be in study or your work, your career, whatever it may be. I'll finish it off here. We can have the Q&A, but I just want to say thank you everybody for listening. I really hope that you're able to find some value in this. Again, I'll have a copy that I'll send to Ancha to share with everybody, that you can use this as a reference, and you can start to try some of these things on your own. If you want to contact me, it's totally okay to contact me. Just let me know who you are first. Don't just say hello. Let me know who you are, and then if you have any questions, I'm willing to help you guys. If you're stuck somewhere or you want to discuss some ideas, I'm willing to work with all of you. So that is kind of the end of the lecture. Is there any? I guess we can move into the Q&A section. So I'm happy to help with any questions or make things clear if you feel like you didn't understand.
All right, thank you very much, Austin. Okay, so we have many people trying to ask questions now, but anyway, before we start, wait a minute. So, Austin, I have a question for you, since basically I'm teaching a public speaking course, so sometimes it is, not many people can speak in front of the, audience because of the script. So what do you think in terms of like the script making? Can you see the difference when before AI and after the AI?
Yes. So giving public speaking, whether it's formal or you're just talking in front of like a social group, a small social group, again, you can go back to this can really automate everything, how you structure public speaking. So if you go here to create a template for all use cases, create a simple prompt for public speaking in front of a university class. And then if you have maybe some speeches that you have either done before that you thought were really successful, or speeches of other people that you really like and were successful, you can just copy and paste it as an example into here. And then and then just put it into, I prefer Claude for this purpose, but ChatGPT will also work. You can just plug in those speeches here in quotation marks, 1, 2, 3, 4 examples, and then it will structure it for you automatically. It'll give you a template so you can make speeches as many as you want. And again, it's not designed to do 100% of the work. It's just designed to take you majority of the way. And now you have something that you can work with. It's much easier to see a speech and then make some small changes than to make a speech from zero all by yourself. So that is how you would apply it to this situation.
All right, thank you very much, Austin. So I'm going to call my students. Yeah, so we have many here already. So let's start with Dwi Aulia. Dwi, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Miss Icha, for the opportunities. And hello, Austin. So my name is Dwi. So I found this public lecture is really interesting because I never expected that there's actually a technique or method or a template or a skeleton for writing prompts for ChatGPT. Because when I use AI tools or ChatGPT, I usually just say things like, can you please create blah, 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 or can you elaborate blah, blah, blah. But now I realize there's actually a formula for creating a prompt. But it raises some questions, and I'm worried about balancing the technology and human creativity or my creativity. So my question is, how do we create content using AI without limiting our creativity or innovation? Or is there any prompt that to help generate content that allows for creative freedom? Yeah, that's pretty much my question.
Okay,
yeah, I think that's a good question. Yeah, I think that's a great question. And the way you can kind of create more of a hybrid of creativity, but also using the technology at the same time, that really comes down into the format here. So for example, in this post, let's just say, for example, we could say, just give me 10 bullet points from this article that I can use to create a blog post. So instead of it taking you 80 or 90% of the way, now it's only taking you 50%. So that could be a solution to what you're asking. Again, the possibilities are endless. So it's really your imagination of what you want it to do. It can take you just 25% or all the way. It's totally up to you. So that is how you can apply. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dwi. Okay, I'm going to invite, let's say who is here. Let me check. So we have Masayu. Is Masayu here?
Yes, Miss, I'm here.
Okay.
So my question is there any job opportunities for students in doing this kind of AI job? Since I do actually have experiences in working at the AI company, but the job supply is quite limited. And yeah, maybe do you have any recommendation of the companies? Thank you.
Sure. For specific companies, I don't have any recommendations. However, being within tech startups for the last 4 years, this is becoming a very popular tool for this purpose of automating tasks for marketing, coding, things like that. I personally have not seen job-specific titles for doing this, for using AI tools. However, I have seen it valuable of adding it to your resume, saying that you know how to do this, you know how to prompt, you know how to use these variable tools to get specific outcomes. For myself, I'm trying to transition and kind of building my own businesses using and implementing into the consultations that I do. So I'm actually building a portfolio of everything that I make with AI, whether it's images or templates for prompting. That way, if somebody wants to see what I can do with it and how I understand how it works, I can just show them my portfolio. Now, another thing, a big topic in this space right now is making videos with AI. Right now, you can only make a 5 or 10-second video at a time, and there's lots of mistakes. The hands are messed up, the face looks messed up, but it's getting better a lot. And I have seen actually one job offer for a company, and it was a remote work worldwide for an American company. They're willing to hire anybody for someone to make AI videos for them for their advertisements, certain amount of videos every week. And it paid very well. And I just talking with my personal network, things like Upwork and Fiverr, they don't have many people that can offer this skill set. Maybe image generation, it's popular. A lot of people know how to use it. There's lots of tools. But combining the ChatGPT to make a full script and using Suno to make a sound and the videos and bringing it all together, not many people are able to do that with quality. So building a portfolio like that can get you, I think, can help you stand out among the other candidates for a role. Again, I don't know which specific companies, but kind of having this in your toolbook when you're applying for jobs, I think it can be very helpful.
All right, thank you, Austin. Thank you, Masayu. I will invite more students. Yeah, Austin, we still got time. All right,
Okay.
so I'm going to invite Tegar. Tegar, are you here?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. So thank you. One second, let me charge my laptop. So my question is that, let me tell you a little bit of my story. I've been in the AI world for a very long time now. And one concern I'm always worried about is the content authenticity. So when we generate the text, a blog post like the example you just mentioned, even if we make it sound human and it looks very human to us, will the AI detector see it as a human-made or AI-made text? That's my question, sir.
Sure. I don't have a specific answer to give you, but I can explain from what I've seen. So I'm quite well aware of what you're explaining, the issues that you're explaining, and how it has created some, maybe a little bit of controversy or even some legal issues. But I have seen some people that have created things completely 100% on their own, just from their own mind, typing it. And they ran it through an AI generator and it still came out as being documented as AI. So there's lots of, I think it's just a big gray area right now, all 50 shades, and you just don't know where it's going to end up, so we don't know where it's going to be yet. And I think it's down to the individual. If they feel that even this is 90% AI generated, is it providing the quality content that I feel that, or the quality outcome that I feel will give me the right engagement and will add value to the people that I'm trying to work with. I think it's completely up to the individual because it's such a big gray area of what is, considered, I guess, content that is acceptable. But as you may already know, if you just copy and paste directly from ChatGPT, from giving it only a task, it obviously sounds fake and robotic, and people aren't going to respond to that. But I think if you're putting out content, for example, and people are responding, then I think it's completely okay.
All right,
All right.
so thank you so much for your answer.
Yeah, so actually I have the same experience, yeah, regarding to that. So I wrote something that is 100% my own, and then when I put it into like AI generator, and then it's still detected as an AI, that I use AI. So you're right. I think there is a gray area in this where you don't really know which one is AI generated content or which one is not. Yeah. Well, let me invite more students here. Okay, we have Safieri. Okay, Safieri, go on.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So my question actually already been answered by Tigar, but I guess I will specify it. So I want to ask your stance or view on the educational ethics on the use of generative AI, because like you said, that if one was generating the answer and it's turned out to be a robot, the teachers or lecturer won't believe it. But what if the students actually use the specific prompts like you said, like let's say that pretend that you are an English language education on the 5th semester, and please generate a review essay on this blah blah blah.
Sure. So I think it's completely up to your lecturer to discuss with the class on if that type of thing will be acceptable or not. But what I can say is the outcome that you get is completely dependent upon the information that you put in. So if you're doing lots of research and gathering lots of sources and PDFs and doing lots of reading, and you combine all of that into a prompt, then your outcome will be very informative and educated. So it's up to whatever lecturer you have to have that discussion and if that's acceptable or not. But I would say that, you know, if I'm gathering all the necessary information and I'm still learning and I'm just using modern technology to give me an output that I want, then, you know, I don't see any issue with that. Me personally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to add to this, yeah, because I am their lecturer here. So basically, I keep telling them that it is okay to use AI as long as it's not too obvious. You know what I mean? Like you said, like if you still doing some research, I mean that you're still learning. It means that you're not doing, they're not using AI 100% towards your work. So you actually work, but you make it easier, you know, because it's, you know, this kind of tool is, you know, why do you need to work harder if you can work smarter, right? So I think that's my take on AI. Okay, more, we still have more. Okay, Artha, are you here, Artha?
Yes, sure. So,
okay, go on, Artha.
hello, Sin. I'm Arizan, and I have a question about the music making of AI itself. As a big fans of rap music, and many hip hop artists pay other artists' work to sample their work, and they tend to remix the actual song, then put on some beats and rap over it. And if we use AI for making music, is there any possibility that the music that we created will be struck by the copyright, since AI tend to develop the music nowadays and they absorb the millions of informations and they create a new song of it? Is there any possibility the music that AI created will be similar to some music and we will be struck by the copyright? That's all. That's my question. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for the question. I'm not an expert in I'm not really an expert in this, so I don't have a specific answer for you. I personally have not seen any issues yet, but as it gets more popular, I'm sure that there will be issues. I do know that with music, kind of the copywriting for music, there's two things that they look at. The first one is the lyrics, and the second one is the theory. So the theory is a sound, you know, not basically mirroring or copying that sound or the feeling and emotion. Again, I'm not an expert, so it's hard for me to really explain the details of what contributes to the theory of music. But again, at this time, I have not seen really any issues with it, but I'm sure it will happen in the future. And again, with the AI music, let's say you like singing, you like to write song lyrics, but you're not a musician or you don't know how to play the guitar. You can use AI to add in your own lyrics and just say, hey, I just want an acoustic guitar sound in the background. You can do that, and it's completely on your own. It's not really, I wouldn't say it's copying anybody. It's your own lyrics, it's your own sound. It's just a computer made it in 30 seconds is the only difference.
Okay. Artha, does it answer your question?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so anyone else? Please raise your hands. Yeah, because I think I saw more students, but anyone else? Do you have any more questions? Okay, so okay, we have here one more question. It's Amanda Bunga. So which one is this? So more students.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss, for the opportunity. I'm Amanda, and so my question is how we as a students like why sir like how to how how to use AI in a wiser way as a student, because sometimes uh in any ways, like we often use AI for the classes. So my question is how we as a students use AI in the wiser ways. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would imagine that, as a student, you have to do lots of reading, you have to do lots of research. So kind of going into this template here, the first example that we went through, again, you can, just change some of the components in this to help with your research. So instead of saying, your role is to turn long research paper into understandable text and easier to read, we can leave that. Here we go. I need you to act as we can do it like this, as a study guide, for example. So that way you don't have to sit and read a 58-page document with lots of data that's confusing, time consuming. I mean, I recommend still skimming through it and kind of seeing all of the information that you can find in here, just to kind of cross-reference with what AI gives you and the actual document itself. But you can go back to this prompt here and start making some changes. So just say, I need you to act as a study guide, and rewrite the content by using an 8th grade level. So now it's gonna already kind of shift from, okay, I'm gonna write this as a blog, to now the AI will say, okay, instead of writing as a blog, now I'm going to give it information that will be useful for studying. So perhaps it's going to cover a lot more about data points, highlights from the article. It can even help you draw like thought-provoking questions that can encourage you to do more research on certain areas, help you draw conclusions based on the data, things like that. I mean, my best advice, it's a bit hard to do it on the spot, but because you got to sit and think a little bit, but just taking this template here from example 1 and saying, instead of writing a blog post, now you are using it for university research purposes, basically. So instead of saying it's 8th grade, we can say it's 12th grade. So the information will be a little bit more detailed. You can extract some more important data points that you may want to reference in a paper that you're writing or something along those lines. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it's really much. Thank you so much, Austin.
Yes,
But my
you're
friend,
welcome.
has another question. So
Okay,
is
go
it
on.
possible?
Yeah, go
Okay,
on.
so thank you for the opportunity, Miss Icha. And hello, my name is Noraisa. My question is, how can we limit the use of AI to ensure it remains a helpful resource than the primary solution for completing tasks, and what effective methods can change our learning abilities without becoming overly dependent on technology? So that's all for me. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. But I think that just kind of the way this technology is coming out. So ChatGPT is kind of starting to act as Google, is starting to act as a personal assistant, is starting to act as, whatever you need. It can do all of these roles and tasks. So I don't view it as becoming dependent on it. I think it's more important to understand how to use it efficiently. It's just a skill set that you have to add to your resume. I don't view it as, I think becoming dependent on it means you're using it, but kind of in a lazy way. I think the alternative is to understand how it works and how to use it. That way you're not dependent on it, but you're using it to still fulfill whatever task or requirement that you have.
Okay, does it answer your
Okay,
question, guys?
thank you so much. Yes,
All right.
really much. Thank you so much, Miss Icha and Austin.
All right, problem. Okay, Austin. So such a session, yeah. So I think is there one more question? Maybe the last question before. Okay, do we again? You have another question, but okay, I'll invite you again.
Okay, thank you
Dwi.
so much. So, yeah, I'm thinking about Ahta's question before. So, yeah, when we create a poem, for example, using AI, but then, thank God, we pass the copyright laws. So, if that happen, then who owns the right? Who owns the rights to the AI generated poem? Is it the user? Is it ourselves, the developer of AI, or the AI itself?
That's a good question. And again, this is still a gray area. There's no, specific answer for this. And I think every country will have its own kind of legal guidelines and regulations. The place I would start, I guess, are just with the terms and conditions that nobody reads when you sign up for these platforms to give you a better understanding. That would be the first place to start. But I don't have a specific answer for you because it's just still kind of unknown. However, if you are using, in this example, we went through Leonardo AI and there's Midjourney and you can create images. You could argue that if you're using the free version, you could argue that those images or that content belongs to Midjourney, it belongs to Leonardo AI. But if you're doing the paid subscription, maybe now they belong to you. They're under your name. If you are very like a tech savvy person, there's lots of advanced softwares that you can download and you have on your computer that you can just run, and it's not connected to any platform with lots of users. You just run it on your own. That stuff is your own. There's no way people can go on the internet and find it and see your work and take your work. That actually belongs to you. So that's kind of I would say that's the solution right now in kind of this gray area of copywriting and the legal side of things.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Austin, wow, yeah, so many questions. Yeah, I wish we had more time. Yeah, but anyway, thank you very much. Yeah, for coming and sharing so much about AI. Yeah, and before we dismiss, I think we would like to take picture first. Yeah, so all of us, please turn on your camera, guys. So, can you stop share, Austin, so I can?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. So everyone, please turn on your camera. Okay, so there are several slides here. Okay, so let's start. Let me just remove this for now. All right. Okay, so this is the first slide. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide. Second one. 1. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the last slide. 1, 2, 3. So, okay, let me go back. Okay, so Austin, thank you very much again. Hopefully we can do this another time. Are you willing to anyway?
Yeah. If I'm assuming the next lecture would be a little bit more in depth, so I would need a little bit more time to prepare, but yeah, I'd be willing to do it again.
That's great. Yeah, so me and Austin been friends for how many years now? So I think he's gonna do it. Yeah, he's gonna do it for us. So Austin, thank you very much. Yeah, it's such a, I don't know, like for me as a lecturer as well. Yeah, I use AI most of the time because, like I told you, yeah, why should we work more and harder if we can just work smarter, So it doesn't mean that I stop doing anything and then rely on AI 100%, But yeah, again, thank you very much for everything that you've told us today, and hopefully to see you again, in the next public lecture. Maybe, face to face one day. Maybe we can invite you at Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. Offline.
Yeah, that would be
Why
cool.
not? Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So Austin, thank you very much, and everyone, thank you so much for joining this public lecture. And I'll see you when I see you maybe next time in the next public lecture. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Give applause to Austin, please.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I hope that I added a lot of value, and this presentation will be shared with you. And then if you want to contact me, just tell me that you're from this class, and I will help with any questions that you have.
All right, so don't worry. So you're going to give me the presentation, and then feel free to contact him. Yeah. Okay, everyone.
All right.
See you next time. Bye bye. Bye, Austin. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.